Okay guys, as you can see here I have 7 different hard drives, 6 of which are exclusively wrestling, as you can see as they're labelled. The hard drive marked hard drive is one that I would rather keep wrestling off, but I've had to move some onto it because I'm running out of space. As you can see, I need to get some new hard drives, so I'll open up the first one here, which is exclusively Jim Crockett Promotions and World Championship Wrestling. If I open up first here, Nitro, you can see I have all the years. I'll go to the first episode of Nitro here. As you can see, not the best quality, but certainly watchable. Close that down. Go into another episode, just sort of picked randomly. 1988. There's a Public Enemy. And we can skip across or skip forward to the final Nitro. There's Vince McMahon. So just looking through at some of the other JCP and WCW things that I have. Also, because this hard drive is nearly filled, I've had to move some onto the other hard drive. I try and keep things pretty well organised and pretty. I can be picky about things like that. A lot of episodes of Saturday Night, just taking one randomly from 1988. There's Jim Crockett Jr., Barry Windham, Nikita Koloff. Moving on here. Starcade, I'll go to the first Starcade, which is where I started watching from when I decided I wanted to really go back into history and sort of pick a starting point to move on from. I decided, Starcade 83 is the first big sort of pay-per-view like event, was a good starting place. Worldwide, which back in the mid 80s was a fantastic show. It became sort of like a weekend show later on, and a show for the jobbers and not the superstars. But as I found watching 1984, 1985, it was a really fantastic show. I'm really enjoying it. So we'll just move on. This is the hard drive that I have a lot of things on. I'd rather keep wrestling off, but as I said, I've had to put some on it. Of some more JCP and WCW stuff here, some fan cam stuff here, and main event, which was another show. Power Hour. I have a lot of episodes of all these, and of course, the wonderful Thunder. I have every episode of it. Close that down. Move on to show. Move on to the second hard drive, which is a 4 terabyte hard drive. They're all 4 terabytes or 2 terabytes. This one is exclusively WWF, WWE, and again I've had to put some on another hard drive because this one is almost full. Just looking at some of the things that I have here. By no means do I have everything, but I've accumulated quite a lot over the years and continue to accumulate. NXT. All the Saturday night's main events, which were pretty fantastic. Slammy Awards. SmackDown, I believe I have all the SmackDown episodes. There's the first one right through till today. Madison Square Garden shows in 1973 episode there, which is taken from WWE's old school on their 24/7 service that they used to have. That was a great source for getting old material. See one from 1982, again from 24/7 on demand service. And the most recent one is from 1997. There's Raw. I have every episode of Raw. We'll just open up the first one here. And there is the main event between The Undertaker and Damien Demento. Just going through here, taking a look. To the most recent show. There's Royal Rumble. Every Royal Rumble event, we'll see the first one here, which I believe is a direct rip from the TV special as it was shown on TV. Yeah, as you see there's commercials in it. And of course, the infamous Royal Rumble of this year. The great Saturday Morning Slam, its entire run. It was, what a fantastic show it was. And then Superstars, which was actually not always the show it is today. As many of you will know, it was a fantastic show back in its early days. There's the Machines, and George the Animal Steel, with Ken Resnick. Going through, I have a lot of episodes, not a complete list yet. Hopefully one day I will have it complete. Of course, through the present day, the completely missable show that it is now, but just for completion's sake, I like to have it. Survivor Series. Just a lot of different shows, various stuff. This is just a file of various footage over a couple of year period. You know, World Championship Wrestling, believe it or not, after Black Saturday in 1984, when the WWF took over the Georgia Championship Wrestling time slot, as you see Vince McMahon, a very famous event in the history of the wrestling business. It didn't last too long. Wrestling Challenge, another good show, especially in its early days, an important show with a lot of episodes of it. And of course, WrestleMania from 1 to 30. There's the first one. And the most recent. And again, like the WCW shows, I've had to move some onto this other hard drive because I'm running out of space. See the TNT shows, which are can be fascinating to watch, but if you watch a lot in a short space of time, as I have done, it's a pretty hard show to watch. Occasionally very funny, but Vince McMahon was very obsessed with hillbillies back then, and that was his sense of humor. You see Greg Valentine getting a massage from his wife. WWE's version of ECW, Legends of Wrestling roundtables, which are can be pretty fascinating viewing. To see going through this gives me a chance to spot mistakes and correct things. On the third hard drive, which is mostly old stuff, old territory stuff. As you see AWA, the first one at the top there, and I don't have as much footage of the AWA as I would like. I've got mostly footage of the later stuff, which of course is not its best stuff. As you see here, this is some old footage. And some footage here shot on a 16mm camera, or 16mm film rather. Kevin Von Erich. Moving on to All Star Wrestling, the earliest I've got from 1979, again from the WWE's Classics on Demand. Just a compilation of some footage from 1982 and 1983. Quite a bit from 84, not much from 1985. I have this is just a compilation, a 6 hours long, as you can see, of various footage. But as for individual episodes, as I said, I don't have as much as I would like. But moving on to the later years, you can see I have more episodes. Championship Wrestling, which was another program by the AWA. Super Clashes 1, 2 and 3. Here's the second one, again from WWE's Classics on Demand. Just see what this is. Ken Resnick again, it's just a various footage. Jerry Blackwell, Bruiser Brody, or King Kong Brody as he was known in the AWA, and the infamous Wrestle Rock. Luna Vachon and Rambo Greg Gagne. Moving on to Memphis Wrestling. Got quite a bit of footage from it. There's stuff from the 70s, which isn't really sorted. Championship Wrestling, their flagship program, of quite a lot of episodes of it. Sort of a bit messily sorted. And as you see, this sort of Knoxville Wide World of Wrestling and SCW, the various incarnations of of wrestling in that area. CWF, 1988. Gordon Soley. Not the best quality, but again watchable. Championship Wrestling from Georgia, and then or Georgia Championship Wrestling, as it was known beforehand, before Black Saturday. 1984. Sort of its final full year, really. Gordon Soley again, and there Ole Anderson, the owner and booker. '85 when Ole relaunched it, and it was eventually taken over by Jim Crockett Promotions. A personal favourite, Mid-South, and later the UWF. I've a lot of episodes of it. I've just watched over the last year or so. I've watched the entirety of 1984, 1985, and really, if I had to pick something as my favourite show to watch, it definitely would have to be Mid-South. Just filled with stars and storytelling. Just great booking, just a great logical show that leaves you wanting more. Power Pro Wrestling, WrestleFest '85. And then you've got World Class, which the early episodes of it in 1984 that I saw and late 1983 would rival Mid-South, particularly the way the Von Erichs were booked. Facebook notifications coming through there, sorry about that. But like I say, World Class, the Von Erich and Freebird's feud was just some fantastic stuff to watch. I really enjoy watching it. But as I've got into 1986 now, I don't have that many episodes of it, but what I do see, it has gone downhill quite a bit. You see all of the Star Wars, which is what they label their big events, to have them split into the different ones, the Christmas Star Wars, Labor Day Star Wars, etc. A lot of episodes of it. And then of course we have the later on, whenever it became part of the USWA, as its heyday was long gone. Like I said, I had a lot of 1983, 84 stuff, and that definitely was when it was at its peak and was a fantastic show. It's gorgeous. Jimmy Garvin again, one of my favourites. And you've got people like Chris Adams, Gino Hernandez, and Gary Hart as a manager. Just some fantastic stuff. Moving on to the next hard drive, which is just a lot of different stuff, which is hard to even really go through. A lot of more modern stuff, but still some old stuff. Just bits and pieces I've picked up from here and there. As you see, AAA don't have that much. As I go down it here, AIW, one of the top indies at the minute. I just see this one, Innocence. No, take out that N. Innocence to Insanity. As I say, going through this can help me notice mistakes and correct them. All Japan, a fair bit of it. Some from 1987, 88, 89, 90. Collaboration with the WWF. Beyond Wrestling, another current indie which puts out some quite good stuff. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Chikara, of course, I've only got the last sort of couple of years of it. I haven't got as much of it as I would like. CWF Mid-Atlantic, which Bruce Mitchell enjoys. CZW, which I'm not a big fan of. I've only picked up bits and pieces of it, and it has gotten better, but certainly it's early days. I wouldn't really, it's garbage wrestling to me. But Dragon Gate, Houston Wrestling, this is just a lot of files that I've come across that aren't really sorted. It's just loosely from 1985 to 1987. I haven't really delved into these too much. yet. As you can see, this hard drive, this hard drive is the slowest of my hard drives. It can take a bit of time to spin up, and maybe needs replaced. Or maybe need to look at backing up these files, in case, because I would worry about this hard drive down. Evolve. Again, this hard drive taking a little while to spin up. OVW. I would like to get some more of the earlier OVW episodes, with a lot of the current WWE stars on it, but I haven't got that yet. Yeah, Pro Wrestling USA, the ill-fated attempt by the NWA and the AWA to work together to pool their resources to combat Vince McMahon's national expansion, which it's a fascinating show to watch. But as it progressed, it really just became an AWA show, as the promoters just couldn't really work together. Texas Wrestling Academy, there's just, of course, Shawn Michaels' promotion that were the wrestlers he trained with, Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, being one of his top students to come out of that. Not the best quality. World of Sport, one of my favourites. This is old British wrestling, which could sometimes be excellent and oftentimes be comically bad. More towards the later days. There's Big Daddy, of course. As soon as they open up any episode, of course, he has to be the main star shown straight away. Him and Jan Hestx were the rivals, the big rivals and the big stars. Belly butts and belly flaps were basically all they could do. But it's interesting stuff to watch. These were taken. It's hard. I need to look into try to get dates to sort them out. Wrestling Is series, XWF, which I believe was Jimmy Hart and Hulk Hogan they put together. We only got a couple of episodes of it. This was after WCW went out of business. I think this was an attempt to try and make a new promotion to combat the WWE, or Mr. Perfect or Kurt Hennig and Vampiro. Smoky Mountain Wrestling, this is some very good stuff. Of a lot of it, I think I've got every TV episode. One from 1984 here. Jim Cornette's promotion, of course. There's Chris Candido. So moving on to the fifth hard drive. Take a wee minute just to load up here. Again, this is another older hard drive which takes its time, and I have more than just movies on this. I'll go through the rest of the stuff that's on it as well, but I'll look at the movies first. Championship Wrestling from Florida, ZWF TV, quite a few episodes. The earliest dating back in 1973. I believe this was a one-match show for the NWA title between Jack Briscoe and Dory Funk Jr. It's perfectly watchable quality, not the best quality, but for how old the footage is, it's very good. 1983 and 84, I think, is what I have the most episodes of it. This is just a big compilation again. See, on 1984, I don't have that much from 83, not as much as I thought, but certainly plenty from 84. Little from 85, as the territory started to die after Eddie Graham committed suicide. There was Eddie Graham Memorial Show. Just various things. Battle of the Belts, which were big cards. Arena footage taken from the 1970s and 1980s. We'll have a look at this. Just fascinating footage. A lot of it to sit down and watch. And ECW, I have a lot of ECW. I think I've got most of what is available from ECW. November to Remember. Barely Legal, their first pay-per-view. The main event. ECW TV and Hardcore TV, their weekly TV show dating back in 1992, which I just have really a big compilation, not split up into the different episodes, which is something I would like to do at a later date. 1983. These ones are DivX files. So just waiting for that player to load up. Some of the things still have commercials in them, which can be pretty fascinating viewing in and of itself. Eddie Graham. No, not Eddie Graham, sorry, Eddie Gilbert. This is, of course, when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling, and then we'll move on through the years. As Paul Heyman gets more of an influence. Take an episode from 1988. Shane Douglas. Through to 2000. Just a few various things here. Grand Prix Wrestling, just some 1973 footage, not much, it's only half an hour long, and it's pretty poor quality. Preston City Wrestling, I believe it is. Portland Wrestling. A lot of stuff here, and the various name changes and incarnations. Portland Wrestling. Quite a bit of stuff, again, not as much as I would like. And different little bits and pieces here from Buddy Rose, of course. Most of the footage that exists from Portland was actually taped by Buddy Rose himself, because he liked to record and keep a record of his own career. I'm going through here, Ring of Honor, a lot of Ring of Honor stuff, just clicking on, Punk, the final chapter. I believe I was CM Punk against, there he's against Colt Cabana. A lot of ROH stuff. Just the TV show. San Francisco Wrestling, just sort of on-sorted compilations from the 70s is all I have of it. But again, can be fascinating footage to watch. In the St. Louis Wrestling Club, Wrestling at the Chase, a few episodes of it, not that much. I'm not sure if there's that much stuff out there. I'm always on the lookout. Bruiser Brody in the opening, it's one of the more unique openings. And I keep getting Facebook notifications in the corner. And of course TNA, I think I have near enough the entirety of TNA's history, unfortunately. Getting back to the weekly pay-per-views, which is how the company started. So let's look at some other things. This is just some random clips and different programs and things that have aired on wrestling over the years. This is an interesting one. WTF moments from Memphis. This is the debut of Cowabunga, the Ninja Turtle wrestler. A low point in Memphis wrestling history, I'm sure. (2020) investigation into steroids in wrestling in April 1992, during the whole scandal that was surrounding the WWF at the time. There's a few different things based on the same thing. Donahue, which was an interesting program. Vince McMahon on it at the time, on feeling the pressure, and had Dave Meltzer, Barrio, Bruno Sammartino. These are packs. These are different, just packs of various things. Like here you see the history of the NWO. It's just clips, you know, right from the start, basically going through the best moments and pivotal moments in the history of the NWO. I just have, you know, different packs on that. Some are feuds, some are just wrestlers' careers. As you can see, you know, Jerry Lawler versus Andy Kaufman, John Cena versus Edge, DX versus Rated RKO, CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. Music is just basically entrance themes. I have a whole load, a lot of entrance themes. And documents, just various things, you know, various tax files where you see the Divas Playboy photo shoots. I'm not going to show you those. Here's photocopies of the booking diary from Texas from 1977. This is quite an interesting little thing to see. So you see Jack Atkinson, of course, was Fritz von Erich. You see how he's booked the matches in his diary. I think it's a pretty interesting little thing to see. And then magazines and newsletters, just scans of PDFs of different magazines and newsletters, where you see the Torch, and then the Observer, dating back to 1984. You know, some of them are not the best quality, but they're readable. And so while I was going through, or while I am going through wrestling chronologically, I'm reading the Observer at the same time, which is very interesting. It helps give a perspective on what I'm seeing. You know, I did that throughout the whole of 84 and 85, and now I'll continue doing it into 86. It's been very eye-opening to be able to follow the programs and to read the Observer as it's going on and find out the backstage, you know, scoop really. Their, you know, WWF magazine. You know, just open up, there's January '82, Undertaker on the cover. And that's that one. Just this hard drive, this final hard drive, is just DVDs and documentaries. And I'm just noticing now that I have left the N out of documentaries, so that is something that I'll have to correct. See the best of the WWF, all the volumes of it, the old Coliseum videos. I've just honestly mountain of stuff here. McAdams tapes, these were pretty coveted. You know, McAdam was someone who put together compilations for, you know, tape traders. You get his catalogs if you were into tape trading at the time. So getting digital copies of some of his tapes is a very nice thing to have indeed. As you can see, I have a lot of DVDs and, you know, VHSs, you know, the Coliseum videos. And then we'll just look at the other hard drive that I don't like to put wrestling on, but I've had to move some stuff onto until I get some more hard drives. California wrestling, sort of 80s or sorry 70s stuff. You know, New Japan, of quite a bit of New Japan stuff. Other is just sort of standalone shows. You see Brian Pillman Memorial Show, you know, the Last Effing Show, Jerry Lynn's retirement show, things like that. This is Texas All Star Wrestling, which is quite cheesy. I've watched a lot of it from 1985, but it's fascinating. A lot of it's pretty good, as you'll see here. I think you'll see it'll be young Shawn Michaels. He was part of America. He is part of American Force with Paul Diamond there. You know, they had wrestlers like Bruiser Brody and things come in, and when I'm watching this, there's Brody and Gary Hart, and you'll see Big Bubba, who was Typhoon. There he is, or Shockmaster, as is infamously known, who was getting pushed as the big babyface at the time in late 1985, was what I was watching recently. Stampede Wrestling, dating back to 1961. Some stuff here from WWE Classics on Demand, obviously, and pretty good viewing quality. There's Mad Dog for Sean. And I don't have much Stampede stuff. I haven't found there's Stu Hart, of course, the owner. I don't have much Stampede stuff. I can't find much stuff out there. I got 1989. I have a lot from 1989, but that's really about it. I'm always on the lookout. World Wrestling Council from Puerto Rico. This is just compilations from 82 to 91. I don't, you know, I haven't been able to sort them any better than that. I really haven't watched any of this stuff. I've been told it's pretty boring. It's a pretty boring promotion to watch. I see there that I haven't got these ones in the right place, so I'll just move them over. There we go. And that's pretty much it. You know, these are just matches, packs of matches that I have. The Observers, Match of the Year, you know, Observer 5-star matches, you know, and then individual matches broken up into different promotions and territories. These are interesting ones, the matches from Chicago Film Archives, from Chicago Wrestling from the 1950s, which is really the first wrestling on television. I think these were all available on YouTube. I think these were probably where these were ripped from. They're interesting to have. As you see, there are matches from Angelo Poffo, you know, Louis Thez and Buddy Rogers. They're certainly very, very interesting. I've gone through a few of these and intend to go through them all. It's just fascinating stuff, really. And then finally, machine interviews, high spots interviews, and then I have them all split up sort of into the different companies that do shoot interviews. Kayfabe Commentaries, which is a favourite of mine. See, a capital C on that one. Here we go. Particularly enjoy the timelines, the history of VCW, WCW and WWE. The U-shoots are always entertaining as well. MNWA, Wrestling Legends Fan Fest, other. I just have, you know, shoots and different interviews that aren't really done by the big companies, so to speak, like RF Video and Kayfabe Commentaries. You know, there's PW Diary, there's Wrestling's Ultimate Insiders, as you saw, Wade Keller, and RF Video, of course, which would probably be the best known shoot interview distributors. And there you have it. So this is sort of the way I work it. I go to find, and I can put in the name contains, and then say I want from a particular month. We'll just put in March 1984, and then we'll see how many episodes come up, or different files come up from that. And it takes a wee minute for all the files to spin up and be searched. Now they start coming now, and then I can just sort of watch them in order, as you see. 1985, with a lot of things from March 1985. As you see, if you look at the bottom, it'll tell you what promotion it is, what folder it's in, you know. There's CWA, then WWF. There's JCP. And I can just watch the thing, watch the weekly television pretty much as I put in 07, 1987, put in, you can see what comes up. Move to 1988 and you can see there I'm not seeing Nitro, which is pretty strange. I'm pretty certain I do have a July 1998 Nitro, so let's look and see why that's not coming up. As you can see, yep, I do have it, but I have it dated in the American way, not the UK way as I do. They have the month first, so I'll have to change that. I'll change that afterwards. Again, this has helped me discover a problem or something that needs fixed. I would just open up a RAW from 98. And that is pretty much that.